It's 13, sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Like we do it.
Late October means Friday Night Lights in Nassau 1 as two teams come into Week 7 looking for home field advantage in the playoffs as Port Washington and Freeport take center stage on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game is brought to you by Blaze Pizza, fast-fired pizza. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast booth. He's the head coach, Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. Both of these teams 3-3, but if they can take care of business and get some help from a few other teams, they could host a home game in the first round of the playoffs.
John, what's better tonight than a Friday night barn burner for Section 8, Conference 1, log jam at 3-3 between four teams. Huge implications in the playoffs tonight. And both of these teams, I got to tell you, especially after walking around on that field, I think this is going to be a very evenly matched game.
Yeah,
very exciting.
And we were speaking to both coaches before the game, and let's start with Freeport. The Red Devils come in at 3-3 on the season, and they're coming off a tough 42-14 loss to Farmingdale at home, but they've got two of the best playmakers in Nassau Conference. One in Jaden Deuce Gordon and Curtis Ely.
Jaden, these are the guys that make championship teams. These multi-ability athletic guys that can catch, they run, they tackle, they just get it done. And Curtis, there's your anchor to the offensive and defensive line. I was down there on the field. I cannot tell you how impressed I was with this young man. And he's a big kid, but very, very trim. Very, very athletic. I would not want to be blocking him tonight.
Meanwhile, the Vikings, 3-3 as well. They see those two playmakers, and they say, hey, we'll match you with a couple of playmakers our own. It's Harry Behan and Christian Sarchese.
Yeah, when you get these lacrosse guys coming out for your football team, I've made a long living on having success with those kids. And these guys bring a ton to the table. Athleticism, speed, and I think above all, toughness. And that's what tonight's going to require.
It's going to be a lot of fun as it's been a palpable buzz for the last hour or so. Both of these fan bases know what's on the line. And here come the Vikings looking for their fourth victory of the year and to get off a two-game losing streak. And with so much on the line, Kevin, for both of these teams, if they want to get a victory here tonight, what are the keys for them?
Well, tonight's keys to the game is for Freeport. You can't give anything away. When you're evenly matched, you cannot give away penalties or anything like that. Control that offensive line, and I think Freeport may have the ability to do that. And lastly, don't let Port Washington be that athletic team. Put pressure on the quarterback. For Port Washington, just be who you are. Don't leave the hype in the locker room. Leave the nervousness in the locker room. Just be who you are. Take care of business, and there is a little pressure on this team. They got to get this done tonight, and they need to harness that energy for real positive things.
Well, the road to a county title runs through Hofstra, and Varsity Media has all your coverage on the Varsity Media Pass, starting with the semifinals, and all championship games will be free, courtesy of our sponsor, Blaze Pizza. You can order your live stream for every game or watch the championships on youtube.com/Varsity Media. There's the slate starting November 14th, taking you up all the way until the week before Thanksgiving. It's the Vikings, it's the Red Devils, it's Week 7 Nassau 1 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Paul D. Schreiber High School. It's a Nassau 1 showdown. Port Washington and Freeport on the Varsity Media Sports Network. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. And get ready for the opening coin toss. The captains for Freeport are led by Deuce Gordon, as well as Glenn Person III, Anthony Velasquez, Curtis Ely, and Tobias Fitzsimmons. For Port Washington, wearing the Road Blacks, Owen Kirschenblatt, as well as Ryan Shanahan, Dom Plaka, that was Harry Behan hiding in the middle, number 4, Christian Sarchese, and Ryan Abend. And I'll have you know, the monopod that we had is about 6 feet tall, just showing off, Kevin, the size of these two teams.
They are big, big boys. You know, I had mentioned over here I was looking at Curtis Ely, and I said to you, boy, it looks like his mom kills a deer and throws it in his bedroom for dinner at night. That is one big kid. And as I was saying before, athletically built. He's quick. He's trim. He's gonna, you know, if he has a night tonight, Port Washington, and whoever's blocking him is going to have a lot on their hands.
Our white hat tonight is Mike Moramino as Port Washington wins the toss and will defer. And Freeport will take the opening kick. As the two teams line up, and it was interesting. We were talking to Jimmy Jones earlier in the week, the first-year head coach for Freeport, and tough loss against Farmingdale, 42-14, but the box score doesn't really tell the story. He's got good athletes. They're young, though, Kevin, but they've got a lot of upside. You
know, when you get into a game like that, you know, and you know, all of a sudden it's 42-14 at the end, but at some point it was 28-14. And you're trying to get back into it, young kids are going to make big mistakes, and that's how those games start to get ripped open. And as you said, John, it's not a true indication of the ability of those teams. Conference 1 reminds me of my last career in the Catholic League. Anybody can win on any weekend.
Yeah, and Freeport's hoping to do so. If they win today and then knock off Uniondale at home in their Week 8 matchup, then get some help. They have an opportunity to be a top 4 seed and host a playoff game, and that's the same case for Kevin Claugesi and Port Washington and that crew over here, as Port Washington back-to-back losses against Syosset and Massapequa, both on the road. But Kevin says that this has been a good week of practice and the team is buying in.
Yeah, they're ready to go. You could just read it on their faces, the way these kids were warming up and busted out onto the field in the pregame. Tough, interesting game for Port Washington next week against Oceanside. If Oceanside continues on their undefeated ways, a win is huge for them. A loss, not going to hurt them all that much. So it's going to be interesting to see how these playoffs shake out in Conference 1.
Look at Port Washington over the last 3 years. They couldn't get out of the quarterfinals. They couldn't get past Massapequa or Farmingdale, many of whom feel that could be a championship matchup this year. But I'm sure Oceanside and the folks over here at Port Washington want to have their say as well, as Coglesi now in his 7th season at the helm. And what a renaissance it's been for this Port Washington program.
Boy, he and his staff have done some job with this program. And it's an interesting thing also about Port Washington, Freeport as well. It's a huge community effort, both in Port Washington and Freeport, and the importance of athletics for the kids.
Ryan Baxter to boot it away. Deuce Gordon back to receive. But stepping in front of him on the other side for Freeport, and now ranging wide, is number 8, Tyler Grayson, trying to reverse field, and he gets brought down by his opposite number in number 8, John Mayhew, the junior. Well, we teased it a little bit, but now let's meet Kelvin Abreu, a 3-sport athlete, one of the best pitchers in Nassau County, an all-county wrestler, and he could sling it at QB1.
Yeah, Kelvin's an interesting kid. I haven't seen him play yet. I just watched him warm up today, and I was saying, he he's got that baseball player's arm slot, but he's got some power on the football.
Yeah, he was a player that was up last year as a sophomore, and like you mentioned, that strong athletic ability and someone who's really taking command of the offense. And you could have someone with the makeup of Dan Marino, but if they don't have it between the ears, Kevin, you're toast.
Oh, yeah.
First play from scrimmage. It's a quick hitter over to the far side. And Jaden Gordon has his first catch of the evening before he gets upended on the other side by Max Taylor. The offense for Freeport. 12 points 2 weeks ago, 14 weeks around. A lot of beef on that offensive line.
Oh, yeah. And as I said to Coach Jones, the roster doesn't really do him justice. When you get down on the field and stand next to these kids, they're very, very big.
Pickup of 6 for Freeport.
Nice way for Coach Jones to open up the game for Kelvin. Nice short pass.
And then on the play action, keeps it himself. RPO ranging forward. He's got enough for a first down.
Wow. That was a great fake. I was watching the running back. Great job.
And that's one area that he's added to his toolbox. Kelvin Abreu is really selling the fake.
You look over here. You look over here at the way that Curtis really seals off the end, Curtis Eli. Beautiful, beautiful play.
Ely interest from colleges at the next level, and he's got the size to play at the next level. It's just a matter of where he wants to play and obviously the offers that come in. But after the pickup of 5, a fresh set of downs for the Red Devils.
I can't imagine, John, that there isn't going to be a lot of colleges that'll be interested in Curtis.
Glenn Person, the third in the backfield with Abreu. And Person's first draw is bottled up. Good job on the interior coming in as Ryan Aben with his first tackle. Aben leading the defensive line with Ryan Shanahan, Dom Klaka, and Angad Walia, and a heck of a secondary. Not easy to throw against Port Washington.
And that was a very important stop for Port Washington right there. Freeport opens up with a quick tunnel screen, and they pull on an RPO and have a nice little run. They needed to send a message, Port Washington.
Pickup of 1, Abreu, pocket collapses, pass deflected, incomplete.
Ooh.
Tried to throw in the direction of Deuce Gordon. And in the backfield was Ryan Shanahan, big number 17.
A lot of pressure on the quarterback in that last play.
So one thing that Coglesi said was a big difference in practice this week was the intensity in the eyes of his linemen. A lot of these guys go both ways, but he said that, quite frankly, they're sick of losing, and they're desperate, and they want to get back in the winner's column, and they're playing like it on the first series. Abreu slings it over the middle, incomplete.
Whoa, what a play by Dominic Plaka right there. A big nose guard from Port Washington gets a mid on that ball. Very, very nice job. I'm actually, John, very interested to see this matchup between Rashad Channer, and Dominic Plaka. Two big, strong linemen.
Yeah, and James Kinsey also applying pressure. Kinsey, a young player as well, is a hockey player that decided to play football this year, and now on 4th and 9, Freeport to boot it away, and their punter, of course, is Deuce Gordon. From the 38, high snap and a short punt will get across midfield as Port Washington calls off the Dogs, and then picked up at the 48-yard line.
Well, they got a nice roll on that punt, John, and, you know, it's not always the beauty of the punt, except we just get it down the field.
Yeah, 14-yard punt, and that'll introduce us to Port Washington's quarterback. And, of course, you know him on the lacrosse field, but a good slinger as well. Harry Enon, good completion percentage. In fact, coming off his 3rd game this season last week where he threw for over 100 yards.
Yeah, he's going to, and he's ready. I mean, talk about, you could see the confidence oozing off of this kid. And he needs to have a big night tonight, and I have a feeling he will.
Well, he's not going to get run on the first play as the Wildcat. It's Harry Behan trudging up towards midfield and then barreling forward. And Behan is going to take a whole army pushing the pile. How about that? He was hit 3 yards from scrimmage and then took an extra 7.
John, that play was drawn up in the weight room. That doesn't happen by accident. That's hours of being on the squat rack. Take a look over here at number 64, Angad Walia. Gets a beautiful kick-out block, and look at that leg drive.
So officially a gain of 9, which should have just been a gain of 3, as now Christian Sarchese has enough, or at least had enough momentum. It's going to be stopped right at the line after a takedown by the Freeport defense. But let's meet the Vikings offense. Enon, the quarterback, or at least was projected the starter. Sarchese, Kirschenblatt, Behan, Gannon, Shanahan, McCormack, Walia, Sornin, who is now healthy, missed all of last year with an ACL injury, Plaka, and Abend. Those ACL injuries are never easy, and Everett Sornin was around the team as much as he could last year and was just chomping at the bit to get back on the play.
Very painful recovery, too, for these kids. You really got to slug it out when you're coming back from that injury.
Behan keeps it himself. What a fake. Harry Behan inside the 20 and wrestled down by Gordon. And Port Washington in the red zone.
You know, John, these RPOs, all right, you watch this, it's not just enough to teach the play and run the play. They're really not hard to teach. The trick is you need to have the confidence in the kids that are running it that they're going to make the right decisions. And that was just an outstanding play by Harrison.
It was a good play, but the flag pushed them back. And Mike Mormino to assess the penalty. On the hold, which is always a backbreaker.
Well, it was such a big gainer. It is a manageable ball situation right now. And I think, where are we?
Well, at the 49-yard line.
Not quite two down territory yet.
From the 48, now Max Enon under center for Port Washington. Pocket collapses, slings it over. He's got Behan, makes the catch. But does he have enough for a first down? He was pushed from behind by Dawood Abdul Ali. And it'll be 4th and short.
Great feet by Harrison. Getting up, he felt the pressure. He gets himself up into the pocket. Tobias Fitzsimmons really came hard off the edge. But just not enough. Beautiful tackle. I'll be surprised if they go for this one, John. I think this is great field position football right now.
Well, both of these teams want to control the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and short. And you've got the Wildcat with Behan.
Well, let's see if we're taking care of the little things here.
And so Behan, the handoff to Sarchese. Ranges wide, has a first down, and pushed out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line as Port Washington converts on 4th down.
Gutsy call, pays off, and you know, look at the seal that we have over here on the outside by Ryan Abend. Great job on that seal. Sarchese gets himself the needed first down for his team.
Sarchese averaging 8 yards a carry. Last week, 12 attempts, 77 yards and a tutty, but then bottled up. Abdul lays the wood and a TFL in the first.
Yeah, that's exciting. That'll get you pumped up.
Well, this defense has a lot to get you excited about. Malik Groover, Jaron Reeder, younger brother of Jameer Reeder, who famously played at Holy Trinity. Jalen Brown, Tobias Fitzsimmons, a younger brother as well. Andrew Carter and Sean Broyles, a loaded Freeport defense.
You know, John, it's a defense that, you know, brings the size, but what I said earlier, brings the speed. Nothing can replace speed.
Yeah, and brings the whole defensive line to the ball carrier. Another TFL.
Well, we're going to lose Dominic for a play while he gets his helmet adjusted.
Yeah, Plaka coming off the field. And of course, that's the mandated rule. You lose your helmet, have to come off, and we'll see how that affects the protection now for the passing game for Port Washington, as it's going to be 3rd and 11.
Important safety rule, but boy, it can really ruin a series.
Hard count by Port, but no offside. Out of the gun. Enon launches over everybody into the next county. Tried to hook up with Behan, and in coverage was Andrew Carter.
And you saw that right there. You know, we had to take Dominic out of the game, and then you had a matchup with Curtis and the Dominic's replacement, and Curtis was just a little bit too much.
And so now he comes back on in 4th and 11, and then you see that offensive line. I mean, just take a look at the size of some of these guys. We mentioned Sorden coming off the ACL injury. Ryan Abend gets a lot of praise from the coaching staff as well as Plaka, two important guys.
For such a big kid, Dominic Plaka really does move his feet nicely.
Here's some trickery. Enon steps up, launching downfield, knockdown, turnover on downs. And you know what? I know that Tyler Grayson wanted the interception. It's better to bat it down.
Yeah, you know what? It did work out perfectly for him back there.
Let's take a look at that play again and some tricks up the sleeve for Port Washington.
I'll tell you what, these trick plays, they take a long time. And that Port Washington offensive line, I mean, I'm counting all 5 of the kids. They gave him a ton of time to throw that ball. And again, it's a gutsy play, John. You know, you want to win big games, you got to call big plays. And you know that sometimes they're going to blow up in your face, but you got to do it.
And you know what? Credit to Freeport's defense on that first drive. Didn't commit a penalty. First play from scrimmage, Harry Behan goes 9 yards. 6 of those were contested. They give up a big play to set up a first down, but then don't break.
Neither of these teams are playing nervous tonight. I kind of thought that we might see that early in this game from the kids.
Second series from Abreu, straight run. Tucks his head down and then is tussled to the ground. James Kinsey with his second tackle.
Yeah, beautiful tackle. I'm sorry, Coach. Beautiful tackle by James coming off the end right there.
James Kinsey, a lot of raw talent. 6 foot, 185, freshman.
It'll be interesting to see because James came so hard off of the end right there, whether Freeport decides to use that and maybe read off of him and pull the ball. They're in that type of formation right now.
Grayson in the slot, near side, was Abreu, and on the Wildcat, it's Gordon. Jaden Gordon enough for a first down and wrestled down at the 48-yard line, a gain of 11.
Wow, how did he get out of that trap? Look at this. He's not a big kid. You know, he's a little thinner, but boy, is he strong. Look at that balance off of all those collisions. Outstanding job. What a way to finish a run.
Gordon back-to-back carries. He's known as the Swiss Army knife because he does so many things well, but gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage. And who else but Don Plaka and James Kinsey?
Yeah. You know, Sebastian LaRussa really slides down the line right there. Really great play by the Port Washington defensive line. There was no cutback for him.
Second down and 10 from the 48. Freeport and Port Washington in a four-way tie for fifth place in Nassau. One, and what a play by Kinsey getting in the backfield again as that play blew up, and Abreu, lucky he didn't take the sack.
I'll tell you, John, Kinsey was not on my radar screen coming into this game. These last couple of plays, he's done one heck of a job. I mean, that was the play that I thought Freeport would fool him on, and he's too crafty for that. Very, very nice job by James Kinsey.
Jimmy Jones, the head coach for Freeport in his first year as the head coach, saying he didn't realize how much he had to take on as the head coach, and a lot of it was just administrative duties. And he said, coaching a football team, that's easy. It's handling the whole program. But he says the numbers are up for Freeport. Hole opens up for Abreu, charging forward, and then gets leveled across midfield. He's going to be short of a first down. Big hit by Ryan Abend.
Reading downfield, he's got plenty of protection. You know, he might want to have stayed in there just a little bit longer. He's got a lot of athletes down the field. What a closing job by Port Washington right there. And Hayden Nadboy.
Yeah, Nadboy leads the team in tackles, and there's a Port Washington team that has a few guys that can light it up on the stat sheet defensively. As the special team is out and back to receive is Owen Kirschenblatt. Judah Murchison the punt from the 48-yard line, and Port Washington won't return it as it gets downed at the 16-yard line.
Beautiful punt, beautiful snap.
And that's good enough for a 36-yard punt. Well, we mentioned the logjam, obviously, in fifth place. As you take a look, Massapequa right now, currently in third place, or tied for second at 5-1. Oceanside, the top dogs, at 6-0. And then, you know, if you're Freeport and Port Washington, you're hoping you're getting some help from Westbury and Farmingdale, but at the same time, I don't know who you root for on the Oceanside side. And meanwhile, everybody at the bottom of the graphic watching this one with intent, and then, of course, rooting for the underseeds as well.
Yeah, and you know what? I think actually on the top side, the most important game out there is just for the excitement aspect is the Oceanside-Farmingdale game. I mean, that place probably packed right now.
How about East Meadow, of course, in a good spot. And there is number 4, Harrison Behan. 4 seems to be the number of the night, as Tobias Fitzsimmons, the senior captain, makes the tackle.
Freeport's doing a great job of playing a lot of patient, bend but don't break defense. I do think at some point Coach Jones is going to have to say we need to figure out something different to account for Harrison.
Yeah, he's averaging about 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
He picked up 8 on that first play from scrimmage. Behan keeps it after the fake from Sarchese. Hole opens up, straight up the middle. Harry Behan with eyes towards the end zone to the 30. It's a foot race with Gordon. 10, and Gordon drags him down. A touchdown saving tackle as he gets pushed down at the 12-yard line, and what a run for Harry Behan.
You know, everybody and their dog jumps on Sarchese on the fake, takes it right up the middle. I got to tell you, though, you know, you watch an effort like that from Jaden Gordon, that is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
Just a nice 69-yard run, sets up 1st and 10. Haven't seen Behan throw it yet, but, I mean, when you're running the ball like that, it helps. And here's Sarchese. He could help as well. Flag is out. And Sarchese picks up a couple. Glenn Person with a tackle, and penalty upcoming. And so the hold against Port Washington, second time they've been called for the hold.
Now, Christian Sarchese's yards, they have been a bit more modest. And it's still very early in the game, but they have been a bit more modest. But that he's getting 2, 3, 4 yards a carry is only setting up those fakes for Harrison. And, Freeport has to respect Sarchese, obviously. And it's taking a little bit of the heat off of Harrison.
It's technically 1st and 21. And Behan yanked down and a flag afterwards, and looks like Jalen Brown's going to get tacked for the face mask.
Well, let's see if this one's a 5 or a 15.
He didn't give the personal foul at the beginning, so it looks like it's only 5 yards.
5. Okay, so no automatic first down.
Well, Port Washington in field goal range, and he's been working with Behan. As Freeport looks to step up defensively. Got Sarchese in the backfield, Jimmy Gannon in the slot. Near side of the field is Owen Kirschenblatt. And Behan tries to reverse course and brought down Glenn Person III with the first touch on the tackle, and Freeport, they collectively come over and defend.
Great job by the Freeport defensive line right there. They hunted him down, something fierce. Curtis coming off the backside, up here on the front side. We've got Rashad Channer. Great plays. Excellent job by David Otto.
Could be one of the last plays of the first quarter, where Washington goes empty. 3rd and 15, play action. Behan straight up the gut and wrangled down. The ball be spotted at the 10, and Kevin Claugesi will talk it over with his team and what to do on 4th down as we get ready for the second quarter. It's been all ground and pound in the first quarter. As we get ready for the second, we're scoreless on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Going, Israel Bonikunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Start of the second quarter, Freeport and Port Washington scoreless. And of course, for Freeport and Port Washington, a big test as they try and move up in the standings. Jimmy Jones in his first season taking over for Russ Sellen, and you look at the last 3 years for Freeport, or exactly replacing a legend for their first season. And no one has been a better replacement for a previous head coach than Buddy Krumenacker, who's still going. But, of course, Dave Ettinger and Erwin Dill doing a great job. He's 3-3, but you know what, Kevin? He's been with the program for the last 15 years.
And all of these guys, Erwin, Dave, Buddy, they were all part of that program for decades prior to taking over. So it was just a natural fit. Big offsides call right there.
No, false start, and that's going to push back. So I didn't get a chance to set up the play offensively. It was 4th and 8 to begin the second quarter, and they tried the hard count to try and get a couple of extra yards and perhaps go for it. And so Port Washington keeping their offense out on the field. Ryan Baxter's their kicker. He's good from anywhere inside the 30-yard line. Right now would be 32-yard field goal. Quick hitter, has a man in Ryan Shanahan, who gets out of bounds, loses the football, but his team is just going to lose possession. Should be a turnover on downs.
Great instincts by Tyler Grayson right there. I mean, he's not sitting around waiting for delayed whistles or anything else. He jumped right on that ball. Beautiful instincts. And you know what, John? We talked about, they need to take care of the little things. Those are the little things that later on in this game are going to mean a big difference.
Well, and here's Freeport over the last 3 years. They couldn't get out of the quarterfinal either, looking to get back to prominence for the first time since 2019. This is a team that has won 10 county titles, 7 Long Island championships, and they've got their ears pinned back at their own 2-yard line. First play from scrimmage is a draw.
Going to be an interesting spot here. Oh, they got it. First down.
Wait, let's see a replay on that. Freeport fumbled it, and Port has the ball, right? Or no?
No.
How did we?
No, it was called down. It was called down on that fumble.
But wasn't it fourth down just before?
That's what it's. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had it wrong on the scoreboard, but that's fine. As long as they have it right down there, that's all that matters. Okay, so that changes everything. Now you got first and goal from the 2-yard line, and it's Harry Behan setting up shop with the offense. Ball on the carpet.
Oh, mama.
And Freeport and Port Washington fighting for it in there. There's Rashad Channer and Harry Behan, and it'll stick with the Vikings.
Really aggressive play by Rashad Channer in there, getting penetration. You're trying to, when you're running an RPO game, any type of penetration can really screw up your timing and your exchanges and cause a lot of havoc back there. Well done, Rashad.
Meanwhile, we were talking about the growth of the Port Washington program since Kevin Clawgessi is there. They're trying to get out of the quarterfinal round as well. Second and goal from the 4-yard line. In the slot is Ryan Shanahan. Ryan Shanahan's out wide. Jimmy Gannon's in the slot, number 11. As you've got Jacob Apat and Christian Sarchese in the backfield. Give to Sarchese, still on his feet, and he's in for the touchdown. A 4-yard rip, and Port Washington strikes first.
Well, you get Big Dom Plaka getting out there and pulling up and opening up that hole. And also, we got to give credit to Jacob Apat. What a nice down block coming in from the slot receiver side.
Baxter on for the extra point. And he drills it after the hole from Brandon Lang and the snap coming from Sebastian Valenza. 7-0 Port Washington on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Washington strikes first. 4-yard run, Christian Sarchese. That's exactly what you want to see out of Port Washington to start the second quarter, Kevin Dolan.
John, is nothing boring about this game right now. This is two teams playing really, really physical, athletic, tough football. Very, very exciting game to watch.
So, Kevin, we were talking about the last 3 seasons for Port Washington, but obviously from your New Hyde Park days and around the block, it's been a long journey for this Port Washington football program as a whole.
Yes, and we went from the days in the 90s when everybody was chasing Jason Ham around to the developmental years to the independent years. and then it evolves again. But I said this about Freeport as well. 2 communities, Freeport and Port Washington, where the families, the community really believe in the value of athletics and education for these kids. And that's the only way to make it happen. If your parents aren't on board, it's not going to happen, no matter what the coaches do.
Judah Mersenson, the return. Brendan Lang, the tackle. Lang, a senior, good-sized athlete. He's been a player that's been with the program since day one. One advantage for Kevin Claugesi is that he teaches at the middle school. He's known these guys for pretty much half their life.
Yeah, you grab these kids right off the vine, you know, as 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and just, you know, and Kevin and I were talking before. You ask everybody, hey, kid, do you play football? And we were discussing how, like, there are kids out there that don't play football, and you ask them why, and they go, well, nobody ever asked me. I didn't think anybody was interested. Just ask them. And if that kid's not very good, well, maybe he'll bring out a friend who is.
Right. And not to mention, too, the own personal growth, being around a program day in, day out. A lot of it, the athletes become athletes themselves, too.
Oh, yeah. And it leads them to play other sports and learn how to socialize in a healthy way. It's just great stuff.
Well, here's a sportsman in Kelvin Abreu. Mentioned pitcher, wrestler, quarterback. But now has his team down 7-0 early in the second quarter.
I kind of like seeing Kelvin back there behind the quarterback. You know, the Wildcat stuff was great.
Glenn Person. And Don Plaka says nowhere to go.
Yeah.
A grown man stop, Don Plaka.
Check this out. Look at the push that these guys get on that Freeport offensive line, and that's a big offensive line.
6'4", 290. He'll say pure muscle.
Yeah, you got Dom back there. You got Ryan Shanahan back there. You've got Ryan Abend back there. Hard to play football when you've got an entire defensive line in your backfield.
Jalen Brown and Dawood Abdul in the backfield. Abreu keeps it himself, slings it over. He's got Brown over the middle, a first down and past midfield.
Beautiful little play. Beautiful little play action pass. No RPO on that. That was a play action pass. Nothing fancy about it. Just flick it out there.
And Jalen, let's watch Jalen Brown.
Yeah, look how everybody jumps down on that play fake.
Now, I'm going to try and play it down the middle, but there's nothing that makes my heart grow bigger than seeing someone with the rec specs. Ball on the carpet. That's not going to make anybody happy as Freeport turns it over and Port Washington pounces on it. Owen Kirschenblatt with the fumble recovery. It was Dawood Abdul Ali, and he coughed it up.
Oh, and Dawood had everything going there for him. It was a great play, great cutback. Excellent play by Ryan Abend to get a hand in there and knock that ball free and come up with it. Well done.
Abend, number 55 in black for Port Washington, transitioning from DN to middle linebacker, and someone that has that skill. As a junior, he was behind 2 seniors at linebacker, so he had to play up on the line. But that flexibility does a really good job and expands a lot for Port Washington and helps them get the football.
And anybody who can do that, John, you know, that translates to the kid's an athlete. Ryan's just one of those guys that can run, change direction.
The hand off to Sarchese and nowhere to go, a loss of 1.
Whoa.
Well, how about that for Abdul? A little redemption there after the fumble, but first play from scrimmage defensively. Does a good job getting in the backfield.
I mean, I loved his run up until the fumble, but where he's been all over the field tonight, DeWood is on defense. He is everywhere.
Behind the handoff, Sarchese. Good cutback past the 40. Lunges forward towards a first down. It'll be short a yard. A good run by Christian Sarchese. Already 12 touchdowns on the year, but it's been his leadership qualities that have brought him to the next level as a senior.
Yeah, you could see that Chris, I was watching him talk with his teammates out there in the pregame. He's just somebody that people gravitate to. And you can tell from that run is another Port Washington Viking who spent a lot of time in the weight room in the offseason.
The other thing that he worked on tactically is running lower with the football that we've seen throughout this first half. Ely in the backfield. Behan keeps it himself, has a first down, and angles out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line after the 14-yard run.
Beautiful run here. You know what? He makes a decision, John, that there's not a lot going on there. I'm going to take what God gives me and just use my physical strength to make the most out of it. Nothing too fancy.
First down from the 45, play action. Behan up the gut and powers forward and driven down by Jaden Gordon.
A lot of great personal battles going on up there. James McCormick, offensive left guard for the Vikings of Port Washington, just did a great job of stepping inside and stemming that block out and creating a seam.
So this isn't new for Harry Behan. He was the starting quarterback last year, and then with the presence of Enon, was better, obviously suited as a running back and wide receiver, more skill player, but doing a good job navigating the offense. He hasn't passed it yet, as he metaphorically passes the baton to Sarchese and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Beautiful closing there by number 55, Rashad Channer. I'll tell you, John, what Harrison is showing me, and I didn't know a lot about Harrison prior to this game, just from what you read in the papers. He's a physically tough kid. I didn't anticipate that coming in. I knew he'd have some athletic skills, but they've hit him with everything but the bench out there, and he keeps coming right back.
Well, now he sets up wide, top of the screen, as Enon in the backfield with Sarchese. Enon flings it, and he's got a man in Shanahan, 2 yards shy of the first down after the pickup of 6.
Nice cover by Tyler Grayson, another Freeport Red Devil who's been buzzing all over the defensive side of the ball out here.
So 4th down and 2. For Washington, 1 for 1 on 4th down. And they're going to go for it again.
Well, you make the call, John. Is it going to be Harrison or is it going to be Sarchese? It's Harrison.
I'm going to give it to old reliable. Hurdles a man and has a first down. He's a lax player, a football player, and I bet you in the winter, make him a hurdler.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's getting it all done out here. Once again, you know, there's no real clear out there, so he just makes it for himself. Look at the collisions that this young man takes. And he just pops it right back to the official.
You know, New York has the largest film crew and locations out here as the ball comes out and now taken away.
Oh, my goodness.
Back the other way. Here comes Freeport as it's Judah Murchison inside the 10-yard line brought down. A fortunate break for Freeport, and it sets him up in the red zone.
Look what Santa Claus gave us. Look, goodness gracious. Watch this. Bang, up in the air. Look at Judah take that. And kudos to the Freeport guys. You know, you don't see anybody pushing anyone in the back or anything. Just run. Just run. Don't give a chance to have any laundry thrown on the field.
James McCormack, the sophomore, with the takedown is Murchison. Might need a little breather after that run.
Beautiful job by McCormack. Not giving up on that play.
With the way that the first 15 minutes and change have gone in this half, Kevin, if Freeport wins this game or it's close, that's going to be the deciding play or one play that we talk about later in this game.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, I think we've seen a couple of fumbles, a couple of penalties in this game. That's how tight, I agree with you, John, that's how tight this game is going to be.
So 1st and goal from the 7. Kelvin Abreu looking for the equalizer with his offense on the field. Person in the backfield, Gordon, the receiver at the top of your screen. Owen Kirschenblatt is the corner. Play near side the pitch. Here's Person. Trudging forward and gets to the 2-yard line. Gain of 5.
Beautifully executed play. Once again, Curtis Eli really stretches that speed option out the way they want it. But I tell you, John, a dangerous play for Freeport, and kudos to Coach Jones for having the confidence in his kids and his team to be able to pitch the ball down there on the 2-yard line.
4-down territory for Freeport. They don't have a kicker. And it's due to injury, not by a lack of personnel. But here's Abreu, gets the snap.
It's a heavy, unbalanced look. Wow.
Glenn Person into the end zone. And Freeport puts 6 on the board. A fumble leading to a touchdown. And Freeport.
Look at these inside blocks. Oh, man, we've got a couple of pancakes. Dave Otto, Antoine McLean. Beautiful, beautiful job. That unbalanced look, it fooled Port Washington a little bit. They overplayed it, all right, and great cutback by the running back.
And so this is what I was saying before. Christian Martinez, a sophomore who doubles as a lineman and kicker, injured himself in week 2. So therefore, Freeport goes for 2, but they take a timeout. And while we have a timeout, just would like to remind you that the road to a county title runs through Hofstra, and Varsity Media has all the coverage, and all Nassau football championships will be streamed for free on our YouTube channel thanks to our sponsor, Blaze Pizza. Just saw Arrett Larian earlier, and always great to see Arrett, and we love having the partnership with him and Blaze Pizza, with locations in Hicksville, Fresh Meadows, and Bayshore. And if you're on the other side of the Sounds, in stores, go visit them there. With our coverage beginning in the semifinal round on November 14th, taking you up until the week before Thanksgiving. Should be a fun one. Conference 1 through 4. Varsity Media is your home, and you can order the live stream of every semifinal on varsitymediapass.com. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. Okay, so you know that going forward, you have to go for 2 on every play. I'll have you put your coach's hat on. The play that's being drawn up there is...
Well, I think right now what they're going to do is they're going to do something similar to what we just saw. Some sort of an unbalanced line. And, we're either going to see Glenn or Kelvin carrying the ball. The problem with 2-point plays, John, is you don't want to get too cute with the stuff. There's only so many you want to make up. Now, here's your unbalanced line to the right.
And Abreu fakes it.
Wow.
And what a play. Tyler Grayson, as he throws to the end zone, and at least the catch is made, but...
Yeah, we got too many men downfield. We got linemen up the field. And as much as you hate to see the laundry being thrown, John... beautiful job here of faking. I would have never. This kind of play that keeps you up at night as a coach. But you've got linemen back here in the end zone, and you can't do that one. That's not even something that the referee wants to call. He has to call it.
It's also tough too. They have only got 2 yards to navigate with.
You wonder, John, if that pass was even part of that play,
right?
Or it was something that he just instinctively did.
Well, Jones says he's got no problem letting his guys freelance. In fact, He leans on their athletic ability, and that says a lot for Grayson, only a sophomore, and at least the coaching staff. You know what? I don't know if they have the confidence in letting him throw it, but if it works, the coaching staff will pat you on the back.
Yeah, draw that up and put it in the playbook.
All right, so a little room to throw for Abreu. Second opportunity on the 2-point conversion. Abreu. Back of the end zone, and he's got Gordon. And the 2-point conversion is good. Freeport goes in front.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Beautiful job. Nice block by Glenn Pearson. Not easy for those running backs to block those big kids, especially somebody like Ryan Shanahan. Ryan's just a big, lengthy guy. And sometimes the best you can do is just get in his grill and slow him down a little bit.
And the confidence to throw in double coverage, too.
Oof.
Let Blaze Pizza cater your next pizza party, graduation celebration, or on-site business meeting. Use the QR code on the screen, punch in your address, and we'll do the rest. Ordering just got a whole lot easier with Blaze Pizza. Locations in Queens, Hicksville, Bayshore, and Yukon. 8-7 the lead for Freeport. Defense, manufacturing offense, and credit Freeport. They make the mental mistake, but have the fortitude to plow through.
And I'll tell you, John, you talk about crediting Freeport on that last play, on that last series. They score the touchdown. That's great. They go to the 2-point conversion, get a flag, come up with a different play, and they pull it off. Beautiful looking play. Great job, great composure.
Well, here is the hero of that last drive, Judah Murchison, to kick it away for Freeport. Christian Sarchese and Owen Kirshenblatt, as well as Harry Behan back to receive. And a short punt to Sarchese, camps himself out at the 22 and jogs ahead. And Sarchese with a head of steam, and then gets plowed down at the 38-yard line, and a big hit in there by Freeport.
Beautiful play by Sarchese. He plays that short kick.
Well, it's a Nassau Conference 3 showdown tomorrow as Manhasset looks to improve to 6-1 against the defending Nassau 3 champion, Southside Cyclones. Coverage beginning at 2:45 p.m. You can watch it on youtube.com/Varsity Media.
Well, earlier I was talking about Harrison Behan and how physically tough he is. I've got to add Christian Sarchese right onto that. That was some collision on that kick return. He popped right back up.
Behan cradles it, has a first down. Across midfield, it's a foot race. Harry Behan to the house. 62 yards, and Port right off the jump answers back.
You know, when you watch this play, you say to yourself, boy, this is one ugly football play, but who cares when it comes up like that? Look at this. Once again, Harrison takes what Freeport's given him, all right, and then just accentuates it, makes the best of it. Beautiful job, great athlete.
Ryan Baxter on the hold from Brendan Lang. And he's 2 for 2 on the extra point. 14-8 Port Washington, and Harry Behan from 62 yards out is good enough for our Speed Island speedy play of the game. Contact Onyx Salva and the gang to improve your speed today. Located in Garden City. Book a session at speedislandny.com. Onyx Salva, a former track and field star in his own right. He has to be smiling at the hurdling from Behan before. And how about the legs to gallop to the house?
And look at these linemen. These linemen just don't give up. They just don't give up. You know, and I got to really give a shout out to Ryan Abend right there. You know, sometimes when you're engaged in those blocks, you just don't know whether you're doing anything at all to help this play. That play doesn't happen without Ryan's block.
Harry Behan, it's been a long road for him. Explosive player. Someone who last year as a junior broke his collarbone in the third game of the year against Hempstead. And it's always a tough injury to come back from, but kept the spirits high and obviously an integral part to this Port Washington offense. And I don't think it's out of school to say, as Behan goes, so do the Vikings.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, he has some tremendous leadership qualities. And I think so much of what we saw on that last touchdown was just intrinsically that voice in his head saying, I've got to do something for my team right now. And he sure did.
So in the blink of an eye, Port Washington back in front as Baxter steps in front of it. And a whistle while the ball was in the air.
Well, looks like the kickoff team may be offsides.
Yeah, flag down around the 40-yard line. And yeah, that's what it is, a false start. Once again, Mike Mormino is the white hat. Jim Sweeney, the umpire. Head linesman is Paul Rupp. William Bryant, the line judge. And Sal Tarcio is the timekeeper.
You know, it's only a 5-yard penalty, but you know the kicking game in this game that's one suspect area that we have going on right now, and field position is just going to be key tonight. Another one of those not so little things going to be very important tonight.
I know I wouldn't want to give Kelvin Abreu 5 yards.
Yeah.
Take 2 for Baxter. He goes the other way, and it's a shorter kick towards Murchison. Fields it at the 41-yard line. Has a few blockers. Murchison rocking forward and knocked down. Ball's on the dirt. Port Washington says they have it. It was John Mayu who had the initial hit. Mayu wearing number 8 for Port. And the Red Devils say it's theirs.
Oh, big break for Freeport right here. You know, as I'm watching this and I'm putting my coach's hat on, I'm saying both right now with Murchison and even earlier with Bayhan, I'm getting concerned about the ball security. They like to do a lot of things with the ball and swim over people's heads, and that's how you see the ball on the ground. And one area I think our coaches are going to be talking to them about in the halftime.
So for Freeport, now trailing by 6. After getting good field position, set them up at the 7-yard line. They were able to convert, score, and then hit the 2-point conversion. And with the way that these two teams run, 3:20, it's a lot of time on the clock for Freeport.
Yeah, we got a lot of time right here. You know, I think Freeport, you're going to see a lot of strong power football, but a lot of careful football. Because right now, Port Washington is getting big chunk plays. Freeport doesn't want to take any chances, giving them the ball back.
3 receivers up top. Abreu surveys the offense and now jugs forward, and Abreu, big 9-yard gain. And boy, he's so explosive. And I put Jimmy Jones on the spot. I said, what's the best game that you've seen Kelvin Abreu play this year? He said, without a doubt, it was the Oceanside game. They lost 21-14, but he said that was the game where Abreu was living in the moment, trusted himself, his teammates, and he's only gone up ever since then. Quick hitter in the flat, and Deuce Gordon has a first down.
And you know what, John? You just saw that on the last 2 plays. Kelvin is just the way Harrison did earlier. He's showing his leadership with his actions right now. He knows his team needs him. He's making big plays. Beautiful sling out to the edge on that bubble screen.
Abreu 2 hard counts and checks for instructions. Andrew Carter, bottom of the screen. 3 receivers up top. And Abreu calls his own number and gets drilled. Back to the line of scrimmage. And the first touch in there was Ryan Abend. Well, we've been saying his name a lot.
Yes. He's, a lot of guys coming out and having big nights tonight on the offensive and defensive line. Very smart play by Kelvin right there. You know, it started out as a speed option. It looked very messy. He didn't want to take any chances of putting that ball on the ground.
2nd and 9, the draw. Person. Flag comes out after the tackle. See if this adds or subtracts yardage.
It came from an odd angle. Looks like a face mask. Whoa. On the offense.
Yeah, hold against Freeport. 3rd time they've been tacked for holding. Well, they haven't been fazed by the penalties yet, but you're kind of playing with fire there.
Yeah, and you're in short time right now. It's not like you have it's important that they put this ball. They come out of this half with some points.
Freeport a pair of timeouts and Port with 3.
It's only second down right now. I think the key for them right now is let's get half of this back.
Second and 18. Under 2 minutes to play first half. And a timeout called by Port Washington. Well, these two teams, a lot of football history. In fact, for Freeport, one of the winningest programs in Section 8 history. And, in fact, Freeport third all-time, and a lot of that had to do with Russ Sellon and what he did. But, I mean, hey, amongst the big boys, how about this? That's an exclusive club. The 500 win club in Garden City, if they keep going, will get win number 600 next year.
Yeah, that's an incredible number right there. Lawrence, not only were they tremendous back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, then they had that run in the 2000s, the early 2000s. And Freeport, when I was talking to some older Chaminade alumni, these are men in their 70s and 80s, they were talking about how their biggest game of the year was Freeport. And the public schools and the Catholic schools would play each other.
I remember speaking to coaches in the aughts, right, between 2015 to later in the decade. And sometimes you'd say, oh, hey, you've got a good seed against Freeport. Freeport might be, under a 5 seed. They say, we don't want to play them at all. Flag is out on 2nd and 18 and a false start.
This is what can really frustrate you as a coach, and and forget the coaches. I mean, it frustrates you as a kids. Everybody's out there to win this game tonight and give their best effort, but nerves do get to you.
Well, there's only so much that Jones can say, and you know this as a coach, too. It's just a matter of executing. But a big part of Jones's job description is settling the team down and trying to get the ship back on course.
Not get caught up in a lot of that phony coaches speak, like this is not discipline. It has nothing to do with discipline.
Short throw over the middle, and that's Gordon. And they'll lose about 4 yards again. Good job by Port Washington to stay on top of it.
Yeah. Who do we have here? Sebastian LaRussa. Way to swallow that play up.
Yeah, let's take another look at LaRussa as Port Washington takes a timeout. But Sebastian LaRussa with a lot of upside and someone who continues to play himself into the lineup week in, week out, number 70 for Port Washington.
Yeah, great job. And again, I was saying earlier, he's caught in a real good matchup with Rashad Channer, the Freeport center. Kids are both playing their tails off tonight.
But we mentioned the ups and downs for Port Washington, developmental program, but they're knocking on the door to 400 wins. Oceanside, the newest member to the 400 club. How about the year for Glen Cove, too? An opportunity to win 400 this year and a county title. They've been fun. And then, of course, the constants in Massapequa and Wantagh with Keith Sachs.
Yeah. And the thing that I think people need to avoid is comparing these teams against each other. All the conferences are different. The conferences are very different. People's situations have changed constantly over the decades as schools get bigger and smaller. I think what's to be celebrated is just the success of these programs in themselves.
Do you not know how the world works? Debate is where it's at. Social media, that's where it's at. Debating can School X play in Conference Y? Throw over near side and complete as Abreu tried to throw it in the direction of Carter. And this nightmarish offensive drive comes to an end for Freeport. They send out the special teams.
John, I've probably consumed a case of Advil trying to answer the question, what league is better, the publics or the Catholics? And it's crazy. You just look at people and you say, just trust me, it's just different. It's just different.
Very diplomatic of you, especially on the record. Owen Kirschenblatt back to receive the punt as Murchison booted away from midfield. And a strong punt. And it'll be downed at the 16-yard line and good for a 34-yard punt. And so Port Washington with a couple of timeouts in their pocket. Get the ball back, and this is what we have coming up. Some Catholic League at the end of the schedule, and of course we'll have the Catholic League finals in there as well. Tomorrow, Manhasset against Southside, Wantagh against Cold Spring Harbor. That should be a fun one for us. Cold Spring Harbor, how about knocking off Plain Edge? That should be up for a big game.
Incredible game, incredible matchup. And this Cold Spring Wantagh night game at Cold Spring Harbor, absolutely exciting.
And then St. Peter's makes a long trek from Staten Island. They always have to have that Sunday, I think it's Marathon Sunday, trek out to West Islip. Not easy.
No, it's not easy at all.
3 receivers near side for Port Washington as Behan keeps it himself. And Behan sprints ahead of the pack and down at the 30-yard line after a 14-yard pickup.
Yeah, this is going to be the longest minute and 8 seconds for Freeport they've ever had. They need to survive this. Let's get to halftime. Let's regroup.
Port Washington with only one timeout. Sarchese on the sweep. And Dawood Abdul Ali with the takedown. In there as well was Jaron Reeder. Reeder, 63 in white, only a freshman, but has good size, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah, his name has been coming up a lot tonight, but so has Dawood.
40 seconds and rolling. A 2nd and 7. Behan bottled up. Rashad Channer with the takedown. Glenn Person in the backfield as well.
No, the gritty play by the Freeport defensive line. Great job by Rashad Channer, just closing off the edge.
Freeport calls a timeout, and wise timeout here. See if they can get a 4th down, get a punt, and maybe take a shot at the end zone before the half ends.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting, John. You wonder if this doesn't work out for Port Washington on this play and the sticks don't change, does Freeport call a timeout? You know, not having a kicker, maybe that won't happen, and they'll just take 14-8 into the locker room.
Well, you've seen the arm from Abreu, and I know that we're playing in hypotheticals, and that's part of the fun of this.
Yeah.
But if they could get the ball back at the 35-yard line with about 16 seconds left, take a couple shots.
Take a shot. Lights are on. The band is here. Why not take a shot?
So 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 35-yard line. Behan, hard count. No movement. Behan calls his own number. Ranges wide. And then shouldered down. Glenn Person the 3rd. Be short a yard. And a timeout taken by Freeport. And so decision time, and we'll talk about it when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Wait, oh my God!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? All right. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right, I'm Ron. Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir? How you doing? I'm Ron. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my God!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh my God. I'm Ron, nice to meet you. Blaze right now is offering a large shareable pizza here with real ingredients. Not frozen, none of that frozen crust, all right? Right. So I want to show you some beautiful, unique toppings that we have. Artichoke, arugula. Wow. You like that type of stuff? That's for you, all right? Oh, no, I'm Ron. I don't know who LeBron is. Me and you take a selfie. Come on in. Hey, that's Ron. You tell your friends to take you to Blaze Pizza and tell them Ron sent you, okay? All right, put it there. My guy.
Off the timeout, Port Washington rushed back to the line, a hard count, and all that for just another timeout. And so Port Washington will talk it over. again. And interesting that Freeport called the timeout before. And I think Port Washington just wanted to see if they could have a fresh set of downs.
Well, interesting scheme change you saw in the alignment right there by Freeport as well.
Yeah, and so back here, Kevin, I'll ask you, on 4th and 1, what do you draw up here?
If you're Freeport, you got to take care of Bayham. You know, and you saw that on the scheme change right there. They've got an extra guy. They got an extra hand down on the defensive line. They got a linebacker that looks like he is married to that quarterback. Everybody's in some sort of a man coverage with a free safety over the top. So you can already see what their halftime conversation is going to be about. You know, stopping this quarterback, and they haven't thrown the ball. So if you're Freeport, you want to say, if anybody's going to hurt us, let's let it be Sarchese at this point.
Behan's been the man of the half.
Well, they bring out the offense again, John.
Well, if it's a run, could be the last play. And check that. Now changing of the guard, and they'll send out the punting unit. Well, they tried the hard count. Now you boot it away, and Ryan Shanahan, now the punter. Back to receive is Gordon. And he gets blocked by Ely, goes straight up in the air, goes right back to Shanahan, and Freeport's all over it. How about Ely? Had the block, then the takedown, and a game-saving latch-on by Tyler Grayson. Those two giving Freeport good field position.
I know the color guy is not supposed to cheer, but that was exciting to watch. That was pretty cool.
Let's see it again.
Look at this. Look at the extension this big man gets on that. Beautiful job. And who makes this tackle? This is a critical tackle.
Yeah, that's number 8, Tyler Grayson.
Oh, what a job.
That's someone you want in the trenches with you. Hold him down, and somebody help me out.
Now, John, you and I were talking about, Freeport catches this punt. So you take a shot towards the end zone. Taking a shot from this 35 is a lot different than taking it from that end.
You're probably taking a knee at that end.
Oh, yeah. This an interesting – they might get 2 plays out of this.
They'd have to get it quick, and, of course, time stops for half a second while the ball's spotted on a first down. Freeport very fast. I don't know if they're 7 seconds fast, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Now I know why you don't say what I'm saying, because I'm looking at you and I have no idea what you're saying.
Curtis Ely.
Well, I think they're only going to get 1 shot at this. I think for this play to work out, they're going to have to move the pocket a little bit.
Gordon and Carter on the near side, and the man in motion is Gordon. Abreu takes a shot way down the field in the direction of Carter, intercepted. Max Taylor with the INT as time expires. Good job defensively by Port Washington to keep Freeport off the board.
It's what we were talking about. They take a shot. Beautiful range on this pass. I mean, you're looking at a 50-yard pass right here. Well, that was a great half of football, John. Really, really was. Outstanding job by both teams. Physical, tough, and really only separated by a couple of errors, a couple of mistakes.
Home field advantage on the line, but have no fear for Port Washington. Harry Behan is here, the long TD. The difference in Port Washington with a 14-8 lead at halftime here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream events. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Wait. Oh my God.
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? All right. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right, I'm Ron. Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir? How you doing? I'm Ron. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my God.
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh my God. I'm Ron, nice to meet you. Blaze right now is offering a large shareable pizza here with real ingredients. Not frozen, none of that frozen crust, all right? Right. So I want to show you some beautiful, unique toppings that we have. Artichoke, arugula. Wow. You like that type of stuff? That's for you, all right? Oh, no, I'm Ron. I don't know who LeBron is. Me and you take a selfie. Come on in. Hey, that's Ron. You tell your friends to take you to Blaze Pizza and tell them Ron sent you, okay? All right, put it there. I got it. You ever take Ron's hat? That's yours.
Oh my God.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream events. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Wait. Oh my god!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? All right. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right, I'm Ron. Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir? How you doing? I'm Ron. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my god!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh my God. I'm Ron, nice to meet you. Blaze right now is offering a large shareable pizza here with real ingredients. Not frozen, none of that frozen crust, all right? Right. So I want to show you some beautiful, unique toppings that we have. Artichoke, arugula. Wow. You like that type of stuff? That's for you, all right? Oh, no, I'm Ron. I don't know who LeBron is. Me and you take a selfie. Come on in. Hey, that's Ron. You tell your friends to take you to Blaze Pizza and tell them Ron sent you, okay? All right, put it there. I got it. You ever take Ron's hat? That's yours.
Oh my god!
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Halftime here, and what an atmosphere as well at Paul D. Schreiber High School and the Port Washington community. Doing a great job bringing the buzz, and their football team rewarding them as well, Kevin Dolan, as we get our thoughts on the first half, and it was a ground and pound matchup for both sides, and I think this has been as good as expected.
Yes, you know what? I really didn't know what my expectations were coming into tonight, but this has been a really exciting night of football. You've seen a lot of tremendous plays by especially our offensive and defensive lines. Quarterback play has been outstanding and dynamic. Explosive chunk plays by both teams. And then, we go back to our three keys to winning the game. Got to take care of the small things. Penalties and fumbles and turnovers have crept into this. And that's been the difference. That's been the difference.
And ironically for Freeport, their penalties have come on offense. A bunch of holding and a bunch of false starts. With that said, though, defensively they've been pretty tight, but they did give up a big play over to Harry Behan. It was a 62-yard run, and that really galvanized Port Washington because they just fumbled the ball on the other end. Freeport comes down and scores, then gets 8 points on the two-point conversion, but then when you've got Harry Behan, you're always going to be in the action.
Yeah, and Harry is, and I used Kelvin as the other example on the Freeport side. Harry has just done a great job of bringing his leadership to life out here on the field. His team has needed him in some critical moments, and he's answered the bell. As a coach, I sit there and I watch my quarterback taking a lot of big collisions from that Freeport defense, and you're holding your breath, but he is one tough kid.
Yeah, he's tough. He's also athletic, and so is Harry Behan, too. And there you see a little hurdle jump, pushed out of bounds, and if you're the Freeport defense, just because they're out on the field now, what do you want to see schematically second half to try and stop Behan and Sarchese?
Well, I think they have to dedicate a guy to Behan, and they have those guys that can do that. They need one kid that's going to spy him, so to speak. I think schematically they may try to bracket him a little bit and try to keep him in the bag a little bit longer. I don't know if you're going to be able to make Port Washington throw the ball. I don't know if they can or they can't. They're just not doing it tonight. But I don't know if they can make that happen. And I think we need to – I think what we're going to see from Port Washington is it's going to be – I think you're going to see Sarchese handle the ball a lot more this half.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. It's halftime, and it's third quarter coming up soon. And before we hit the brakes, these two teams want to get to Hofstra, and they want to get to a Long Island championship. Well, this year's Nassau Conference 1, 2, 3, and 4 championships will be streamed free on YouTube thanks to our sponsor Blaze Pizza hooking us up as well and hooking up you, the viewers. So go to youtube.com right now where you already are. Smash that subscribe button. It should be red on your computer screen. Make sure that you're subscribing to catch all the action. Semifinal action starting on the Varsity Media Pass. You can order your live stream on November 14th, starting with the Conference 4 semifinal all the way up until the Conference 3 and Conference 1 semifinal on November 16th. Third quarter coming up next. Port Washington and Freeport on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Twins up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
high school sports fans. Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Wait. Oh my god!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? All right. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right, I'm Ron. Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir? How you doing? I'm Ron. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my god!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh my God. I'm Ron.
Start of the second half here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 14-8 the lead for the home team. Port Washington Vikings. They deferred in the first half, and they'll have the ball to begin the second half. Christian Sarchese brought down on the return, and a big hit by Usman Cisse, the senior, laying the lumber on the first play of the second half. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. A lot of ground and pound in the first half of Port Washington, led by Harry Behan, the 6-point advantage.
It's going to be interesting if that hit by Usman sets the tone for what this half is going to be like, because that was a huge open field tackle.
So Freeport, like we mentioned, not a lot of penalties defensively. In fact, only one penalty defensively. It's come on offense. And they're going to try and stop the run. You predicted a lot of Christian Sarchese. He's got a lot of yards on the first play from scrimmage. He's got a touchdown. 66 yards. Christian Sarchese opens it up.
Well, John, he spent the first half in the witness protection program, and now we've brought him out into the light. Look at that play. Let's watch the blocking up here in the front. Look at how these big boys open up this middle of that field, and he's not looking around for anything. He's just gone.
And he's going against two burners in his own right.
Yes.
Tyler Grayson in the secondary.
Talk about setting a tone for the second half. Wow.
Ryan Baxter on for the extra point. Valenza the snap. Lang the hold. And Baxter drills it. 21-8 Port Washington, and that's a fast-fire touchdown from Blaze Pizza. Join Blaze Rewards to get access to exclusive rewards and earn flames for free pizza, cheesy bread, and more. Join now at blazepizza.com or download the Blaze Pizza app in the App Store. Kevin, do me a favor when you play the lotto tomorrow. Just give me a few of your numbers, because you called that right off the bat. Christian Sarchese rewarding you.
Well, this kid has been all over the place. He's been all over the place this season, and now he just came out and made a heck of a play right there.
Well, now for Freeport, this is a good mix of seniors and underclassmen, but they've been pushed against the ropes, and last week it was a close game against Farmingdale until it got out of hand. A 42-14 loss for Freeport, and not a good first step.
And John, by no means is this panic time for Freeport. I mean, you just gotta do what you do right now, and that was part of the points of winning the game. But they need to bring a sense of urgency to this series.
Like Ryan Baxter, a little Sebastian Janikowski in him.
Yes. He's got a very unorthodox way of kicking this ball. He's a lefty, but look at the side he's going to line up on. This is when he pops it up towards the sideline.
Yeah, and good call. As Jaden Gordon fields it from the 21-yard line. Has a burst of speed, gets past the 30 and wrestled down at the 32, 11-yard return. And we'll see the offense for the first time in the second half. Kelvin Abreu. Well, he did a good job managing the game in the first half, and good pocket presence for Freeport.
Yes, and I understand the Wildcat version of what Freeport is doing, but I do like it when Kelvin is back there. He really brings that quarterback leadership to that position. He can sling the ball around a little bit, and he's a great athlete. I know there are times in my coaching career where both myself and our offensive coordinators, you come up with some wildcat stuff, and you can start to overdo it just a little bit and get away with some of the good football that got you there.
We mentioned that Oceanside game for Abreu, but he did a really good job of controlling the tempo. And now he's going to have to do so, trailing by a couple of scores. Still on his feet and then slides forward after picking up 3. Some contact afterward, and a flag comes in. So a late hit on Port Washington, and you could add a chunk of yardage for Freeport.
Very good protection by the Freeport offensive line, and Kelvin did an outstanding job of stepping up. Watch him step up into the pocket here, and he makes a decision to go. Once again, ball security. I hope he doesn't try to get a little too cute. The what we're seeing Mahomes do on the weekends with the ball. Just secure that ball and get the yards that you can.
Hayden Nadboy with the penalty.
That was a big one. That really turned the field around here a little bit.
Nadboy, a senior, leading tackler on the team, and one that he wishes he had back. 1st and 10 from the 50. And Gordon wrangled down. And there's Nadboy again.
That's that unbalanced look that Freeport showed us earlier in the game. They hit the first they hit the 2-point conversion with that formation, and also the touchdown play with that formation. I think what Port Washington's doing, though, is that when they see Jaden in the Wildcat position, they're not worrying about the pass. They're selling out right now on the run.
2nd and 11, and Gordon gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. We've seen the explosiveness from Gordon. Saw him on the 2-point conversion and the touchdown, but Port Washington's done a good job of keeping those plays to a minimum.
Yeah, they're really bracketing the football. They're bracketing the football. They're preventing Freeport from getting to the sideline, forcing them back into these big boys that they have inside.
Third and 11. Well, Washington brings the pressure and brings down the QB. Ryan Shanahan with the sack, his 4th of the year.
Yeah, Port Washington brings 8 guys on the ball right now. Check this out. Look at this rush. Taking a chance with the coverage, but works out very well for the Vikings.
Shanahan, one of the leading tacklers, and good size, 6'5", 205, but plays the run really well and gets his first sack of the game. Jaden Murchison on for the punt, and then a short punt from the 40 as Freeport downs it at the 33-yard line. Flag in there as well as Owen Kirshenblatt went down after the 27-yard punt, and I'm sure we'll add some yardage for Port Washington.
Well, I think we're looking at an unnecessary roughness here. I believe that was Glenn Person. Glenn, he wanted to drive that Port Washington kid into the football and see if we can get a touch on it, but just got a little too carried away.
And so that's going to add some yardage to Port Washington, and we have a break in the action. Playoffs are coming up. First round, book a SPORTSCAST with Varsity Media today, and we'll produce your playoff game, which includes announcers, graphics, instant replay, multiple camera angles, a memory your team will enjoy for a lifetime. Give us a call today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Not really sure what this break is about here.
There was a personal foul against Freeport. And Kevin Claugesi now giving the thumbs up. And he, like the rest of us, you're right. What was the delay? But after that hit, and that's a costly hit, and short field position for Port Washington.
And, I kind of feel for Glenn from Freeport that, it wasn't an unsportsmanlike act. He was trying to be aggressive and make something happen for his team, and just went a little too far over the top.
Up the gut. And went about halfway home. The run for Christian Sarchese.
That's the exact same play that we saw Christian run on that touchdown. It's called duo. It's been a popular play in the colleges and in the pros for the last 2 years.
That's Kevin Coglesi, and the head coach for Port Washington doing a good job of getting this team through murky waters. Back-to-back losses at Syosset and Massapequa, but home obviously tonight, and then Oceanside to end the regular season. Curtis Ely can get to the backfield as he wrestles down Behan.
Yeah, they were holding him like crazy on that play too. I was waiting for some laundry to come out, and he fought his way right through that hold. I think Curtis has kind of told us on that last play he's had enough.
You see the size of Ely, 6'3", 230. He's down 15 pounds because he added running to his offseason workouts.
Great scheme change by Freeport. Coming into this game, they backed off their defensive line because of this hard count.
Handoff Sarchese, right down Broadway. And then a gain of 6. Set up 4th and 1.
A lot of strength right there you see on that run. Jimmy Rather gets his body up in there in that hole. Again, not a big kid, but boy, these kids are strong. It's becoming very clear to me that both of these teams have spent a lot of time in the offseason in the weight room.
Well, the old saying, right? You're undefeated in the weight room. Nobody ever has a bad offseason.
Yeah, that's true.
Although when you see it in person, you can see who the real winners are. Jimmy Gannon goes in motion. Sarchese. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That moves the sticks.
There it is.
Good job by the offensive line for Port Washington once again, opening up a hole to get the 3-yard gain. So fresh set of downs from the 40-yard line. Gannon in motion again. And then the give to Sarchese. Identical plays, and Sarchese explodes ahead. Over to the 28-yard line after the 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, Sarchese's starting to take over this game. I think we're seeing a consistent effort from our offensive line, specifically inside. If you want to run that duo play, you're going to need number 54, Everett Soren, to continue to block the way he has been. Not a particularly big kid, but very, very aggressive in there. Really gets some hip drive into his blocks, and a smart center.
Yeah, there's Soren right in the middle, and the lunch pail guy for Port Washington. This time Behan keeps it himself. And, it's funny just watching him. You're like, oh, that looks like a nice 2-3 yard gain, and you look up and he's picked up 6.
Yeah. For a big kid, and when you stand down there on the field next to him, it's, again, for both of these teams, I was a little surprised how big both of these teams actually are. I'm used to being around a lot of big teams from the Catholic League. He can get his pads down. Brings his pads down very low, whether he's running backwards or forwards.
On the play action, Behan keeps it himself. And wrestled out of bounds by Glenn Person, but enough to move the sticks for a first down.
Excellent job with the ball fake right there. You know, now Port Washington has Freeport really having to pick their poison, you know.
Well, it hasn't been too flashy, but it's been effective for Port Washington as you have two dynamic players out of the backfield, and, of course, the O-line is clicking on all cylinders and not committing penalties either.
No, patient. Kids are being very patient.
Sarchese to the left side, and Murchison with the takedown. No gain. And a stoppage for a down Viking. I believe that was Sarchese after taking the hit.
John, the Freeport defense, they've got a couple of issues going on here schematically. I don't know if it's how the scheme has gone in or maybe sometimes how it's being executed. You don't really know unless you're down there on their sideline. But I will say about this defense, they do collision. The toughest thing to do in football, the toughest skill of it all, is open field tackle. And they can do that, and they bring it on.
Here's a schedule for Freeport after today at home against Uniondale. Freeport currently 3-3, but big wins against Valley Stream Central, Hicksville, and Westbury. But, you know, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and 0-3 against teams that are above them. But we spoke to Jimmy Jones, and he said, hey, destiny is in our control, and they still have a chance to do so.
Yeah, and you know what? What do we call the playoffs? It's the new season. It's the new season. All they've got to do is play the teams they got in the schedule and continue to get better each and every week.
Looking for their first county title appearance since 2019. Only 1-2, beat Farmingdale and then William Floyd to win the LIC. Second and 10, under 4.5 to play, third quarter. Port Washington trying to put the nail in the coffin late in the third. Behan rolling out, tucks and runs, still on his feet, and plows forward for a gain of, let's call it 6.
Another big play. You know, nothing that hurts them, keeps the clock running. They keep moving the ball, inching the ball forward a little bit. You got Ryan Abend over here on a very difficult stretch block over here on the edge. Gets himself back involved. And there's that tough guy, Harrison, spinning around and getting extra yards.
And in motion is Jacob Apat. Behan surveying, moving forward and back to the line of scrimmage. Set up 4th and 5.
Well, I know Harrison's showing some frustration right there, but he shouldn't. This kid is having some night, you know, and I'd said it to you at Half Hollow Hills, John. I want to say it again tonight. If anybody could use a Blaze Pizza, I think it's going to be Harrison at the end of this thing.
Well, Behan putting his team in field goal range. As this will set up the 34-yard field goal, Ryan Baxter. The snap, and Baxter misses it.
Okay.
So Port Washington comes up empty, and we'll take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. atmosphere on hand and a lot to cheer about for this Port Washington crew and fan base, leading 21-8, but now Freeport back out on the field after the missed field goal by Ryan Baxter and Kelvin Abreu in the offense take over. A fumble and interception by Abreu on offense today, but a brand new drive, and with the way that Port Washington can really drain the clock, you've got to get some points on the board if you're the Red Devils.
Yeah, and I've kind of said this a couple of times, and I don't mean to be a wise guy about it. This might be the most important series for Freeport in the whole game. Whether they score or simply really turn the field around, they need to make this series their best series. And I think this is how you're going to do it, John. I think they need to throw the ball.
Well, Abreu pumps and then throws it over a sideline. Well, he's so elusive, Abreu, but the pass protection hasn't been there. It's good that Abreu has the legs, but not really a lot of time to throw.
No. You know what? He's had a couple of nice pockets. I think he's rushed the pocket a little too much. But in defense of Kelvin, it's hard for a quarterback to know how long you can stay back there when one play you're running for your life and then the next play you've got plenty of time. It gets a little anxiety-driven back there, especially when you got a kid like Shanahan and Plaka coming down your throat.
So through all of that, a penalty in there as well. So a late flag come in, and this will push back Freeport. Not sure if Abreu threw it in front of the line of scrimmage.
He would have lost it down on that. It's still first down. Not really sure what that was. Might have been an illegal formation, John.
First and 15, play action. Anthony Velasquez makes the catch, but can't get back to the line of scrimmage, and he loses a yard thanks to the tackle by Hayden Nadboy.
Honestly, John, I like the play call. For Freeport's standpoint, obviously they wanted to execute that a little bit better, but I do like the play call.
You got to credit this Port Washington defense, putting up one of their best efforts of the year. They shut out Uniondale in the first week of the season, 46-0, and then a 42-8 win against Westbury. They held Farmingdale to only 14 points, so this is a defense that can compete. Doing so today, pocket collapses. Abreu taken down. James Kinsey with the sack.
That was a really, really big play for Port Washington. And John, I know people have heard about this kind of football talk before, but, on that play, the Vikings were playing with a very, very light box. They only had 5 guys in there to defend the run, so they needed to get pressure on the quarterback. That was a huge play.
Down Freeport players getting tended to, so somebody on the line go down. Let's hope that everyone's okay, but... Well, here's how Port Washington got to this point. We mentioned the wins over Uniondale, Hicksville, and Westbury, and tough losses to Farmingdale, Syosset, and Massapequa. It seems like there's 3 tiers in Conference 1. You've got the top tier, which is clearly Pequa, Farmingdale, and Oceanside, and then the rest of the middle of the pack is in a logjam.
Yeah, and what's hurting some of these teams, like both of these teams here in this logjam, is none of them have beaten any teams that are seated above them. It's the whole system's driven on PowerPoints, and it really is kind of important to beat those teams.
Yeah, I showed the standings earlier and the implications that this game has, and of course they had 3-way tie for third.
A 3-way tie for third. You got a 3-way tie just below that in the next tier. There's probably a good chance that most of the teams in that tier will be in the playoffs, but they'll be playing away.
Gordon goes in motion. Murchison gets hit, draws the contact, and then still gains about 3. As James Kinsey lost his helmet on the other side of the field for Port Washington. He'll have to come off, but a good defensive stand for Port Washington.
Boy, Port Washington has been playing very good defense all day, but in this second half, they've brought an aggressiveness to their pursuit and their tackling that you didn't see in the first half. This is a motivated group.
Murchison to punt it and just gets it off. Punting from the 17-yard line, and the return, Kirshenblatt. So a 23-yard punt, 5-yard return, and back on offense is Harry Behan.
Boy, that was a very gutsy, very tough play by the returner right there. He probably saved 20 or 25 yards on the roll on that punt.
PW will take over when we get ready to start the fourth quarter, but hey, Christian Sarchese right off the jump. 68 yards to the house. The Vikings feeling it and enjoying their 13-point lead. Going to the fourth on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Start of the fourth quarter, it's been number 4 show. Harry Behan and Christian Sarchese taking over on offense. And a short field, Sarchese scored on the first play of the third and thought about it to start the fourth, but gets tackled at the 19-yard line. A 15-yard gallop for Christian Sarchese.
And why not come right back with that duo play? You don't block the outside guys. You double up on the tackles and on the linebackers and just send Sarchese right down the chute.
Person with the tackle. Behan sweeps, flag comes out, and Freeport all over him.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a hold on here on Port Washington.
You see a down Freeport player there as well, as that's Malik Groover. A little shaken up.
There we go, guys. Get up. There you are. You know, I think sometimes people forget, John, you know, these kids have been out here. They're playing both ways all night long, giving it their best efforts. And, you know, you do get a little nervous as a coach, as a football man, you know, when fatigue starts taking over. That's where sometimes, unfortunately, injuries do start to sneak in.
I think the biggest misnomer is that, and you'll hear this from athletic trainers, doesn't matter the temperature, you could still cramp out there.
Oh.
And it is one of the chillier nights that we've had in this season so far.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the one hard thing about these night games, and you know sometimes the kids are running around, they're eating pizza all day long, and salt and the oils and everything else. There's a lot of things that come into play.
He's 2nd and 15 after the hold, and Sarchese almost gets it all back. Pick up a 4.
Nice hard run by Sarchese. Beautiful block. You saw it up there by number 64, Angad Walia. Port Washington's trying to dress that play up a little bit by putting an option look into it with the 2 backs. One of the things I appreciate about this Port Washington offense, they don't actually do a lot. But what they do is they do a couple of things really well, and then they dress those plays up to make them look differently. Very good coaching.
Behan keeps it himself. First throw of the evening, incomplete. As he had a man open in Jacob Apat, but the two couldn't connect. 4th and long upcoming.
Nice time for that play too. You know, they got a nice lead right here. I don't want to call it comfortable yet, but they got a nice lead going here. They haven't thrown the ball at all tonight. Great point to pull it out.
Well, Max Enon comes on now. 4th and 13, and low risk, high reward. You could get a first down, or if you don't convert, you push Freeport back. Enon last week, 14 for 23, 132 yards, but seldom used today. Poor Washington goes empty. Slings it. He's got a man in Jimmy Gannon, and Gannon has a first down and a touchdown. Off the bench, Enon to Gannon. Port Washington goes up 19 early in the 4th.
What a great play. You know, they trigger. It's called the trigger. They take that running back and run him out, run people out. Who's got that pancake block right there in the middle? I couldn't catch his number, but that was some block right there. Beautiful play. Beautiful job.
Gannon's 2nd TD of the year, called up as a sophomore last year, has been thrown into the fire.
And not an easy pass to catch by Jimmy. I mean, that ball's got some heat on it, and it's traveling a very short distance.
Flag on the play and on the PAT, and encroachment against Freeport, so that'll move them up a few feet. And so with a few extra yards, Port Washington will go for 2. Trying to go up 21 points.
Yeah, it's a good move. Very good move. Mathematically, this is what you want to do.
The other thing, too, is that, and we've got a long way to go, but Freeport can only go for 2. They don't have a kicker in their own right, so trying to go up 21 and put more points on the board. And you're not going to like this if you're Kevin Conglesi. You have to use a timeout on a PAT.
What are we doing?
Well, that last touchdown was a fast-fire touchdown from Blaze Pizza. At Blaze Pizza, it's the best place to grab a fast-fired pizza made with delicious ingredients and over 30 toppings to choose from. Salads, lemonades, and much, much more. At Blaze Pizza, there's no wrong way to play. Let's see that play again. Jimmy Gannon doing a good job getting across the middle. Freeport secondary was playing back. It was like they were guarding the end zone. And Gannon able to take advantage, get a first down, and a score.
Yeah, and there's that finish. That's number 64. And that's on Godwillia. That's just a great, great job of finishing a block. And you know what? Like I said, that's a very tight play. It's a great job of him not putting his hands on the defender's back and drawing a flag.
Yeah, look at 64. Willia, yeah.
Yep.
And there's a takedown, and a good job over there as well by Everett Soren. So now Port Washington goes for 2. They're going to give themselves a 21-point cushion. A couple of men in motion. Sarchese in the backfield. Now he goes in motion. On is the extra blocker. Behan, the sweep, and the conversion is good. Let's give 2 to the Vikings. Just how they drew it up.
Yeah. Great job. It's a jumbo set. It's super unbalanced. Stretch it out using that athletic ability of his. Get it in the end zone. You know what I'm interested to see, John? I'm interested to see Freeport's reaction to this now. The game is, you're getting to a point where it's starting to get away from them. You know, the idea of winning the game is going to be a little more difficult. But you know what? I'm always impressed by the efforts that the kids put in when their backs are against the wall. And I'm not going to be surprised in the least to see Freeport come roaring back and try to get themselves back into this game.
Well, these teams looking for a Long Island championship. They're also looking for a Nassau County title, and the road to that title runs through Hofstra, and the Varsity Media Sports Network has all the coverage, and the football championships will be streamed live and free on our YouTube channel. Thanks to Blaze Pizza. At Blaze Pizza, there's no wrong way to play. But if you want to watch the semifinals, go to the Varsity Media Pass and order your live stream. Coverage beginning on November 14th with the Conference 4 semifinals all the way through to the 16th. We'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4 on VarsityMediaPass.com. It's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. 10-11 to go in the fourth quarter. And this second half has been dominated by the home team.
Yeah, tell you what, and you know, I know we've scored some points in this second half and really moved the ball, but where they've dominated it is on defense. They look like a different football team, Port Washington Vikings.
False start. We'll redo it. It's a Port Washington team that's trying to get back to its glory from the 70s, of course, winning 3 straight titles from 74 to 76. They were co-champions with Wantagh in 74, have not won a Long Island championship, and it's a long way and a hard way to go in Conference 1, but a win here and then, of course, a win next week against Oceanside would really help yourself power points-wise and give you some confidence going into the playoffs and trying to get past the quarterfinals. First time in a couple of years.
Yeah, so much of this is about positioning yourself, John. And you know, that's why even this game, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. You can't get too dramatic about it. You just gotta keep plugging away.
Jordan Johnson, the tackle on Glenn Person III. And so Freeport takes over at the 39-yard line. Once again, the standings, and Oceanside Farmingdale locking horns tonight, and then Massapequa with a game advantage against Syosset. And, of course, East Meadow, the Jets, Freeport, and Port Washington. Of course, Kevin, you know more than anybody, there's no easy games this time of year as Kelvin Abreu sees the pressure coming and then throws it away. And they'll say that the near receiver was Jalen Brown to avoid the intentional grounding.
Yeah, I think the Vikings have been hot on that play since it worked out for Freeport in the first half. And they just right now they're just too smart for that play. You know, going back to your point earlier, John, you know, it's just so exciting the last 2 weeks of the season because everybody's getting better. Everybody's getting better. I just got a text from over in the Catholic League right now. Kellenberg is beating St. Anthony's at half. Kellenberg's had a tough year, but they're getting better.
Here's Abreu out of the pocket, steps up, still on his feet, and Abreu leveled Hayden Nadboy after the pickup of 9. But Nadboy lowering the shoulder, laying the lumber. The big takedown.
Great read here. Was not a setup draw. Brings his pads down. Great job. Great collision by Vikings, but also real tough quarterback play.
It was Nadboy and Taylor in there. Max Taylor, remember, had the interception at the end of the first half. Port Washington player shaken up. And there's that offensive line with Fitzsimmons, Groover, Channer, Romero, and Ely. And Fitzsimmons, senior captain, two-way player. Older brother Robert played for Freeport 6 years ago, won a Long Island championship.
3rd and about 4 inches here, John. This is where, you know, Freeport, they've got to be disciplined in terms of their formation, not jumping off sides. Let's just get some push. They have the boys up front to get the push. Let's get some push and get this yard and move the chains.
Well, tomorrow afternoon, it's a Nassau Conference 3 showdown. Manhasset takes on Southside. Should be a fun one. Manhasset in that triple option against Justin Singh and a powerful Southside Cyclone bunch of defending Nassau champions. Coverage beginning at 2:45 on youtube.com/Varsity Media. Good to see Ryan Abend get up for Port Washington.
Yeah, he's had such a great night tonight as well. He's, if this works out for Port Washington, that's one of the young men that made this game happen. His blocking, his defensive play, really, really great job. I'm glad to see him walking off. He's got a little smile on his face. Well, maybe that's a smile. I don't know.
Could be a grimace.
It could be a grimace. Yeah.
So 3rd and inches after the delay. Abreu in person in the backfield. And the hand up the middle. And check that. That is Dawood Abdul Ali with the first down.
Beautiful run. Waited, it was interesting how Dawood, he made himself nice and small, slipped through those cracks. No big collisions. Good job on his ball security. He's learned from the first half. That's it. Get yourself set up.
From the Port 44. Second give to Abdul. And Abdul inside the 40. It's about halfway home.
That's what I'm talking about, John. You're seeing some enthusiasm coming out of the Devils this half. Rashad Channer getting himself hooping and hollering, showing some team leadership out there.
And now in their 2-minute offense as well, as Abdul sweeps, might be short of a first down. Check that, they're going to give it to him. Forward Progress gives it to him, and Freeport starting to see some openings with that jet sweep.
And I think, you know what? And I think just like Port Washington with Sarchese, is that Freeport's figuring out other people can run the ball.
Well, Abreu slings it in and out of the hands. Direction of the receiver and Grayson.
That's the baseball player in him. He throws what do we call that? A seed. Throw a seed out there to that receiver. Not always easy to handle. Especially, it's a little colder out there tonight. Guys aren't used to that.
Andrew Carter, bottom of your screen, and in the slot, Jaden Gordon. And a timeout taken by Port Washington. That's their second timeout of the half, and we'll step aside as well. 8:25 to play in the fourth quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Welcome you back to Paul D. Schreiber High School, Port Washington, with a 29-8 lead. This was a 14-8 game at the half. Kevin Dolan, but Port Washington has made the adjustments. They've executed, and now defensively trying to stop Freeport once more.
Yeah, and Freeport has found themselves in this series. They've had a couple of nice plays here. They're figuring out that we've got a few more kids that can run the ball. Very timely timeout by Port Washington. This is an important play.
Abreu steps up, delivers it down the field, incomplete. Overshot his target. And Tyler Grayson, good coverage by Max Taylor. Second time that Abreu, a little too much mustard on it.
Yeah, I know Kelvin wants that pass back. I mean, because it was just a little bit too much on it. But I do look at that. He's got some arm strength, this young man. I mean, that was a huge football he just threw down the field.
You hit it on the head before, and you'd have to imagine the uncomfortability that Abreu faces, because he's had pockets where he's had some times but then has fielded the rush. So he's going in there blind, not knowing how much time he has, and if he's going deep on a play, has to heave quickly. Low snap, a little bit more protection, but steps up, chugging, brought down from behind, Ryan Shanahan.
Boy, we got to see this. I was watching this pass rush from the beginning because it's a great matchup between him and Curtis. And watch Shanahan on this play. Ryan comes up the field, slips him inside, and then he rolls on him and comes back and makes the sack. What a tremendous motor play. Outstanding job.
So Abreu gets back to the line, but second time that he's brought down Abreu today. Freeport's going to go for 4th and 10 from the 34-yard line. Trailing by 3 scores. Abreu, everybody goes deep, keeps it himself, directs traffic, slings it, incomplete on the high pass, and a turnover on downs. Port Washington's defense steps up again. Hayden Nadboy in coverage.
Heck of a play by Hayden. You know, right here, now here's the other side of the pass rush. Curtis now has Shanahan on this pass block. Great job of protection and pass blocking. But you know what? He had to get rid of that ball. They needed the first down. He had to sling it out there, and you do the best you can. And Nadboy comes up with a beautiful interception.
Yeah, exactly what he wanted. Tucked his arms right under it. Textbook for Nadboy. He had the big hit earlier, now an INT. Second time that Freeport's QB has been picked off. And so for Nadboy, this Port Washington defense stepping up once again. Well, coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network tomorrow, we've got Manhasset taking on Southside next week. Good Conference 4 matchup Friday night, 7 o'clock. Cold Spring Harbor hosts Wantagh in a battle for one of the top seeds in Conference 4. Should be a fun one. Keith Sachs and company, the Martinis, and then, of course, you've got Sean Burns. Me and you will be on that one, and then St. Peter's makes a trek all the way out to West Islip to take on the Cougars of St. John the Baptist. You can watch it all on the Varsity Media YouTube channel.
John, I've been talking about, enjoying the burst of energy coming from Freeport, with a no-giving-up attitude in this half. I got to hand it to Port Washington. Port Washington has really given a tremendous burst in this second half, as I said, especially on defense. And this young man, Sarchese, Christian, he's just doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, he's been the story in the second half. Had that big touchdown run to begin the third quarter, and then, of course, the huge run to set up a touchdown in the fourth quarter. And Port Washington with 2 timeouts, but possession, the lead, and now just trying to wind down the clock and inch closer to their 4th win of the year.
They do have this clock management down very, very well.
Sarchese pushed out of bounds.
Coach Clogacy has done a great job of working with Harrison and getting him to keep his eye on those referees and get the most out of this clock that he can. But, going back to the Freeport and what a great effort they've put into this second half. You look at Port Washington, you lose 2 games in a row. Now it's, as I said last week, it's that come to Jesus moment. You got to reach down and find out, what are we really all about? And in a sense, reinvent yourself all in the same season. And they've done a great job tonight.
So is this man, Sarchese.
Yes.
Enough for a first down. Christian Sarchese has just been the leader. Athletic, strong, running downhill, putting up one of his better efforts of the season.
I don't know who the captains of this team are, the Port Washington team, but I would imagine that Christian and Harrison are definitely in those leadership roles, and they're probably in those leadership roles on no matter what team they're on.
Yep, Ryan Shanahan also a captain as well, and Owen Kirschenblatt. On 1st and 10. Christian Sarchese ranges wide. Gets a block from Ryan Abend, another captain as well for the Vikings.
Boy, you really got a taste right there of Curtis Ely's speed as he hunted down Sarchese all along the sideline there. He can really run, that young man.
Handoff, Sarchese right up the middle, and Sarchese, a burst of light. Another first down for Sarchese. Has to be over 100 yards today. Came into the day rushing 595 yards already under his belt and inching that much closer to the 1,000 mark.
And he's probably gotten 90% of that in the second half. Now, the Port Washington play on this with the two backs in the backfield, it's actually pretty simple football concept, but what it's doing is it's causing confusion for Freeport with how they're going to defend this quarterback.
Well, there's Sarchese again.
I don't know if Malik is having an equipment issue or it's an injury. I think it is an injury.
Yeah, it's Malik Groover down in the backfield, just trying to move his shoulder as well. And with that said, it's time for our well-ground player of the game with Port Washington leading 29-8. And our player of the game is, well, we'll see here. Wait for the big reveal. But anyway, should be Harrison Behan, the well-ground player of the game, a space for fashion, wellness, and community created for and by women with curated products, events, and services for wellness in body, home, and whole self. Visit thewellground.com. And how about Harry Behan, what he's been doing today?
Well, he sure deserved it. He sure deserved it tonight. I don't know if he deserved it as much for all the rushing and the touchdowns or all the physical abuse that this young man takes as he performs these great feats. But he really has had a wonderful night. And I think just as important as his physical play is his leadership on the field. You know, when you can see these kids look to him, they look to him to make it happen.
Well, as he goes, so do the Vikings, and going to above 500 and at least keeping pace in fourth place and keeping the hopes of a first-round home playoff game in their control as well, should the score hold. If it doesn't hold, we'll have to give another Player of the Game award out. Second down and 5, 10 seconds on the play clock. And Behan keeps it himself. And gets about 3.
Well, speaking of the witness protection program, I think it's time we put Behan in it. The Freeport kids are not done playing football, and Harrison's a big part of of everything this offense does.
Especially going forward, and we'll see against an Oceanside team that defends the run well. You're going to have to defend the run well, especially in this conference.
If you can end this, if you can end in that on the downside in that 5-6 slot, that's a very manageable matchup in the playoffs. Very manageable.
Well, yeah, if the playoffs were to start today based on the PowerPoints, you'd have Port Washington taking on Farmingdale. Farmingdale would be the 2 seed, and then that 3-6 game, Massapequa. Here it is right here, Massapequa Freeport.
Right.
Massapequa picking up their first victory of the year against Freeport in week 1, 38-14 win for Massapequa. And a timeout taken at midfield. Well, a lot to smile about here on Friday night under the lights. Band's been pretty good, too.
Yeah, band's been doing a great job. You know, and you talk about the weather, it's got to be affecting those guys out there. A little bit chillier tonight. I just put on my jacket.
You could always tell, at least from the guy's perspective, who they think is the quote-unquote tough guy who wears the short sleeves. A lot of machismo out there.
It ain't me anymore. I'll tell you, though, John, you look around out here, and you got kids in uniform playing football. You got your performance kids and the cheerleaders and such, the band. It's so important to keep these kids involved in activities. And it's just a really, really great night here in Port Washington.
Ryan Shanahan on the punt. Tyler Grayson returning past the 20, burst of speed, and then down at the 26-yard line, and a flag comes out as the tackle was being made. And a block in the back.
Boy.
Well, there's going to be a big discussion, obviously, on Monday. And for Freeport, danger of losing their second straight game.
And you know what? For the Freeport kids, when Coach Jones and his staff talk to them about the penalties and such, they know what they're talking about. I mean, these kids, they have a very strong youth program in Freeport. These kids are invested in the football program. They know that you can't win big games with getting penalties. And they'll make the adjustment. I have every confidence in them that they'll make that adjustment.
Block in the back pushes them back to the 15-yard line. New quarterback in there as well. And that's Judah Murchison with the handoff to Dawood Abdul Ali. And a gain of a yard.
I'll tell you, I was standing next to Judah down on the sideline before the game started. That's another kid who's a big, big boy. Muscular, strong, fast. If he wasn't a running back and a quarterback, he'd be an offensive guard on a really good team.
Mm-hmm. Has those skills and maybe a little Brandon Jacobs-esque. On second down, the run coming from Carlos Aguilar Moran, the junior. Jimmy Jones starting to empty his bench.
It's nice to see Coach Jones, and it's again, at the end of the day, we're supposed to be teachers, we're supposed to be educators, and Coach Jones knows. Get those kids out there, and they're out there at practice every day. Let's get them some time.
Murchison this time, the handoff goes to Cameron Bussell, the junior.
Really nice block by number 60, Andrew Marmol, and number 68, Ryan Blanco, getting out there and getting their hats involved and pushing some guys around. Port Washington doing the same thing in kind. They're getting some kids on the field.
And so the special teams out there for Freeport. I don't think Port Washington knows that special teams is out there. They don't have anybody back to return the punt. Short kick from Murchison. And pinned right at the 40. Be a good golf shot.
There's some Blaze Pizza guys right there.
We love you.
Pretty excited. That's
Love
Sebastian LaRussa on the right. On the left, Hayden Nadboy.
Hey, by the way, they had us on upset alert.
He did
Upset alert.
defensively.
Upset alert, sir.
Brings it on.
Yes, sir. You hear what I'm saying?
Really great night for the Vikings, and as I've said earlier, for the Red Devils, they represented themselves very, very well tonight. A couple of things didn't turn out their way, but congratulations. A couple of things didn't turn out their way, but they really represented themselves like gentlemen, like great athletes they are.
And so just waiting for the final kneel downs with 55 seconds to go. Port Washington led by Harry Behan and Christian Sarchese offensively. The defensive line for Port Washington, one of their best efforts of the season, pitching a shutout in the second half. And victory formation for the Vikings. They'll pick up their 4th win of the year. Freeport falls to 3-4. And so Port Washington, in hopes of moving into a top 4 seed, stay alive. And Kevin, for Port Washington, a lot to be happy about in this effort against Freeport.
Yeah, and you know, and again, I go back to that concept before about losing 2 games in a row. You know, you start questioning yourself when you start stringing together some losses, and they answered some of those questions tonight. Really, really great job by them, and really great job by their coaches.
Port Washington wins it 29-8 as they move above 500. And they'll take on one of the top teams on the island next week. In Oceanside, Freeport is home against Uniondale to close out their regular season. We'll step aside when we come back. It's the Blaze Pizza postgame show on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown. Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Port Washington with a dominating victory over Freeport. They pick up their 4th win of the year. I'm joined by number 4, Harry Behan, part of 4 touchdowns here today. And Harry, what was working so well offensively for this team?
Offensively, the blocking was really good. I'm really proud of the boys. We worked hard all week. We executed. We came out there, and we did what we were supposed to do.
Tough couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks. What changed in practice this week for you guys to get this victory?
I think the last game really it flipped the switch on us, and we just came out and we did what we had to do.
I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the defensive line, too. It's a powerful Freeport offense. What did you think about the defense?
I think the defense played great, and we did what we were supposed to do.
All right, so the 4 seed's still alive. You guys have an opportunity going ahead against the top seed in Oceanside. What do you have to do to knock them off?
We got to play our game, have a good week of practice, come out strong, our home field, have a great senior night.
All right, well, the good thing is you guys get to enjoy it because this is the Blaze Pizza postgame show. So because of that, Port Washington's going to get free pizza courtesy of Blaze Pizza with locations in Hicksville. You guys can get a little excited about that as well. Everybody loves free pizza courtesy of Blaze Pizza as well. So that'll do it here for our entire crew. I'll let Port Washington go celebrate. Guys, good job. Congratulations. So it's a victory for Port Washington as they win their 4th game of the year. For our entire crew, this is John Perez saying so long from Port Washington. It's been a presentation of Nassau 1 Football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.